This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Cover! We got it from their world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby! To the real deal, baby!
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, though? This is another Tuesday. This is Knockouts and 3 Counts, but it is also Fight Week. Legends of Combat going down this Saturday. Corey and I will be back on the call, and we have got one half of your main event on the show again with us. We got the return of our guy, Devin the Prodigy Smyth. How you doing, my man?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. It's always a pleasure to be on the show.
Hey, man, we always appreciate the time, especially, like I said, at this point, man, you've been rocking with us for a while. I still remember you reaching out to us the first time you came on the show, like, yo, when are you going to bring me on the show? And now here we are all these years later through LFA, Contender Series, all that stuff. And now you're coming back here to fight, and we get to be on the call for it. So before we get into what you've got going on this Saturday, catch us up a little bit on where you've been at, where your headspace has been at since your last fight, and how are you feeling headed into Saturday?
Man, I feel great. I feel in some of the best shape I've ever been in. You know, I stay in West Palm Beach down with Rashad, and I'm just taking everything in. You know, I've kind of slowed down, made a lot of changes that needed to be made in my life, and you know, taking my career more seriously and doing the things that I need to be doing, training with some of the best people in the world, you know, on a daily basis. You know, obviously I have Rashad. I've been getting in sessions with Kamaru Usman, getting in sessions with Michael Johnson and everybody up at Kill Cliff, you know, getting sessions in up at Trilogy Gym with my boy Rodney and my boy Brian helping me with my boxing skills. Man, it's been a wonderful ride, and it's just been an odd taste in my mouth since my last fight. You know, just wanting to get back in there but I wanted to take the time and let my body heal up and let everything come together. You know, I got into another strength and conditioning program, so I've gotten a lot stronger. Gotten a lot leaner, you know, and I'm just a force, man. You know, I feel great.
Go ahead, Corey.
I was just gonna say, when you talk about making that move down to Florida and stuff, there's some top level teams down there, that's for sure. I mean, if you're looking for talent to train with, that's one of the top areas in all of the country, it seems like. Yeah,
100%. It's everything that an MMA fighter could ask for, you know, and I'm so blessed, you know. I have a lot of opportunities to go to a lot of predominant gyms and go train with some of the best fighters in the world, and it took a little transition period for me to, realize. And I was just talking with Joaquin Marcelago about just about everything and about the career, and it was just a transition. It was like when I moved down there, it was I just realized what it took to be at the top of the game, you know, what it took to really do it and to really go on the streak that I need, and I'm happy and grateful to say that, you know, I'm going down that path, and I've been putting in the work and working on some of the weaknesses of my game and capitalizing on the strong points of my game as well, you know. So I feel like everything's coming together. I feel like Saturday is just going to be a moment for me to go in there and shine like I always do.
Can you talk to me a little bit about, you know, one thing that you said that I think definitely, at least in my opinion, having watched you both when you were fighting for out of Murcielago and now since you've gone down to Florida, you talk about a lot of the different places that you're getting to train and stuff like that. Talk to me about some of that training for this camp, and like, don't have to give away any secrets or anything like that. But like, I think that's you see so many of the biggest stars in MMA, whether it's MMA, boxing, whichever, that are getting looks from a lot of different places. And in a lot of ways, most people that have been around for a long time would say like that's an old school way of doing it. But in my opinion, don't get me wrong, I understand there's a thing to be said for like teams and that kind of stuff. But when you're getting to get all these different kind of looks, man, you're seeing maybe I like the way this guy throws his hands over here. Maybe the way I like what this guy blocks kicks. Maybe the way I like the way this guy transitions into a takedown. What do you think some of the benefits are for you getting to do that and be in all those different spots?
Man, it's just seeing every kind of look there is. It's such a privilege to be able to go up to Kill Cliff and wrestle Russians, and then go into Del Rey and kickbox with Brazilians and grapple with Brazilians and then come back and box with an American sort of standpoint and from an Americanized style of boxing and just sort of try to put everything together into what fits for me, because I've never been one to try to copy somebody else's style, because somebody else's style might not be for me. I want to pick and choose, and I want to take bits and pieces from everybody and implement it into what works for me and put that all together. So I think the more faces that I get to go with, the more training partners that I have, the more not even training partners, the more top level training partners that I have, really give me an advantage in my training. Like I say it time and time again, I train with the best in the world, and right when I got down there, man, I got the shit kicked out of me, man. It was tough. It was tough, but it was a moment in time where I had to sort of realize, is this what I want to do, or is this not what I want to do? And if it is what I want to do, then this is what the fuck it takes to do it, So I made that decision, and I got through all the ass whoopings, and then I started touching some people, and then I started making people miss, and I started defending takedowns, and I started taking people down, and I started, and everything started to come together, and that sort of in itself gave me a confidence that I haven't had in a while, and that's why coming back here and main event is so exciting to me, because I just get to show everybody the levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? And the level that I've reached.
So go ahead, Corey.
I was just going to say, I mean, you kind of brought up that whole return back home and stuff. I mean, to be able to showcase the amount of skill growth and stuff like that, it's got to be such a cool feeling to, be able to come back and actually, like you say, put all that hard work on display in front of the, hometown fan.
Yeah, 100%. It's not personally, but just I haven't really talked to anybody since I left. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really been, I keep up with people here and there, but I've really been focused on myself, man. I've been focused on just growing as a fighter and listening and taking in knowledge and implementing it as to the best of my ability to try to be the best fighter that I can be, and so to be able to come back and see everybody and put on a performance for everybody again. I got a lot of people coming, man. There's a lot of people coming out to see me fight and are excited to see me fight, man. And so it's such a blessing to be able to come back and main event and put on a show for everybody that they won't soon forget.
So that leads into something that we got to talk about for sure. First of all, and the obvious question, why Ryse Brink? And with that being said, I keep hearing this is a fight that's been in the making for a long time. So what makes this the right matchup, and what are your thoughts on facing Ryse Brink?
Hey, man, I got all respect for Ryse, man. Ryse has been me and Ryse been cool for a long time, man. But the main reason is Ryse can sell tickets, so what comes with my opponent selling tickets is me getting paid, so that was a lot of the reason that Ryse's name came first. And another reason was he has a phenomenal record. He's 9-2 as a pro. you know, and it's gonna look real good on my record, you know, to catch a win over him. And man, we can go back to being boys and being cool after the fight, you know. Business is business, you know, but you know, he got to get beat up.
He said he's going to take him to the brink. Well, you know, we talked a little bit about you going out there and training with Rashad after your last fight. Was there anything in particular that he said to you that kind of like might have sparked something new or helped you out headed into this fight?
It was really just I just have to take things more seriously, you know. And I was in a headspace to where I thought I was, you know, but I was still smoking and I was still drinking, and I don't smoke anymore and I don't drink anymore. And, you know, I'm taking my body more seriously. Like I said, I started a strength and conditioning program. I run consistently. And everybody will see it in terms of just the way my body looks. You know, I'm in great shape now. My mental is straight. I don't have a cloudy mind anymore. I'm real sharp. You know, it's just I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get in there and just prove to myself again that I'm really that dude, you know, and like I can really do this and I can really go to the top of this game, you know. And unfortunately Ryse just has to be a stepping stool in that regard.
When you
didn't read between the lines, what he was trying to say was that the Prodigy has gone GQ is what he's trying to say. Go ahead, Corey.
I was just going to say, when you talk about giving up all that type of stuff and kind of making that next progression in life and ultimately like what you want for yourself, right? What are you most proud of that you've been able to get back from yourself through that process, if you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just my confidence, you know, and it's tough. You know, I've been one fight away from the UFC twice now, you know, actually 3 times now, you know, and I've come up short 3 times, you know, and it's tough, man. It's depressing. It's hard to go through. It's hard to come so close, but yet feel so far away over and over and over again, you know, and especially after the last fight, I just wasn't ready. You know, I just wasn't ready for the level of wrestling that I was going against. I wasn't ready for, you know, the style. You know, I wasn't in shape. I was really in shape on my feet and was in zero shape on the ground, you know, and it showed, you know. So it was just about figuring out that if this is what I want to do, I want to do it. And I'm turning 30 in 2 months, man. So I'm not the young kid that I've always been.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Hey, in terms of MMA, you know.
There we go. I can take that.
You think about it, man. I had my first fight when I was 14, man. Like 14 years old.
13, I feel you.
Almost 16 years ago, you know. So it was. I've been doing this for 16 years almost, you know. So it's been a long road, but I'm not. I've realized that I have to take my recovery seriously. I have to, you know what I'm saying? I have to condition the way that I'm supposed to condition, because I can't just walk out there and win based off my athletic ability anymore. I can't just go out there and just blow through everybody, because I can still blow through people. Let me back forward. But, you know, I can't just go out there not training and not giving it my all in training and expect to have an A1 performance, you know. And that's not what the UFC or PFL or anybody's looking for, you know. So it's really about just being the best that I can be, and taking myself seriously and giving myself a chance, you know. When I go out there and I'm not training and I'm not taking everything seriously and I'm smoking, I'm drinking, and I'm doing everything that I was doing, I'm not taking me seriously. I'm not giving myself a chance to go out there and shine, you know. So now that I've taken those steps and I've eliminated those things from my life, it's real exciting.
Renewed focus, my man said. I'm liking what I hear. Come May 10th, make sure you check it out. Spectation Sports. Yours truly and Corey will be on the mic for this one. Looking forward to being back behind the mic and not having to drive all the way up north this time. But with that being said, to put a bow on Legends of Combat before we get into some other topics and things like that, we talked about, this matchup with Ryse. And for those in Michigan knows that, like you said, Ryse can sell tickets. He's been a guy who's been around for quite a long time. I think it's a great fight for you to be coming back to come get after the LFA and all that stuff. How do you see this fight finishing? And what problems, if any, do you think he can present?
I see him getting finished in the first round. I don't see him making it that far in the fight. I know he's going to dive at my legs, and Ryse isn't really that much of a wrestler, so I don't really see the point in trying to do that. But I know he's going to, because he doesn't want to stand with anybody, let alone me, so and shit, if he does stand, he'll get slept. So that just is what it is. I hope he does stand. I doubt he will. But when he realizes when he's diving for my legs, or when he's catching uppercuts or knees, and when he's catching punches on the feet and kicks and everything, and he realizes that it's too much, and I'm just gonna keep coming, he's gonna back down, And when he does, man, watch out, because it might be a highlight reel.
So we're saying winner via pressure. What round? Number one.
He says number one. He said first round finish. I like the way you think. He said I don't get paid by the hour. All right, man. We talked about coming back home. You got to tell me. I know you keep up on sports outside of this, even though you keep up with the Buckeyes. But with that being said, you got to tell
national me champs. That's all. National.
But can they beat Michigan? Can they beat Michigan?
Doesn't matter. I'll take a
yes,
national
it does though.
It
does though.
But I'll take a national champ. You can beat us. You can beat us for the next 25 years, and I'll take 25 championship rings.
I think I'd. Honestly, I think I'd add. We won it the year before, so I say this.
Yeah, but y'all cheated, so it doesn't matter.
Here we go.
I'm saying
the
Ohio State victory meant more to me than the national championship.
Y'all cheated. There will always be an asterisk next to that national championship, and that's all that matters to me. That's if y'all got to cheat to do it. That's just typical Michigan fans.
Here we go.
And folks, that is typical Michigan fans right there.
Man, see, that sounds like a sore loser.
See, we didn't need to cheat. We did it fair and square. We beat everybody, and not only did we beat everybody, we beat the brakes off of everybody in the college.
But you couldn't beat us with a broken down team, though.
Hey, you're absolutely right, and I'll give it to you. Our coaches had an aneurysm that game, and just
I don't know what. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. On this year's one, anyway, like when Harbaugh was here, I don't think so. But with this one, I'm not gonna lie.
There isn't a Michigan fan in the world that thought they were gonna win that fucking game.
No, yeah, I was so
not arguing that. Not arguing that, but a dub is a dub is a dub.
Hey, dub is a dub. Y'all can have them little regular season.
I can't argue with you though. Natties are natties, and
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We damn near probably gonna do it again this year too. So
we'll see what the team looks like nowadays with everybody being transfer pools.
Hey, Ohio State lost 0 transfers. 0.
We shall see, because you guys got pilfered by the draft. I'm telling you,
because
we have what's called by the draft though.
We have what's called a culture at Ohio State. Okay, we have what's called.
I hate you guys, but I mean, you guys have a good team. I mean, you guys have a good team. Like I say, every year you guys get picked apart by the NFL. So I'm not shitting on it. I'm saying.
I mean, and the Lions picked. That was going to be my next question. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the fact that the Lions drafted a Buckeye in the first round?
I think it's a damn good pick.
What do you mean? One of our best.
Tyleek is a monster.
Literally has a freaking Ohio State Buckeye tattoo on.
You're not wrong.
Arm. It like hurts my feelings every time they're like, and making his way, and I'm like, yeah, he's about to block for us, but god damn it, man, pull that sleeve down a little bit, Come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Y'all gonna start Blood Buckeye when he getting sacks and stopping runs for y'all. I'm gonna tell you that.
No,
No, and
like
I'm
I
with
said,
that 100%. I think it was a good pick,
yeah.
and I got to talk shit because it's Ohio State. But I mean, like I said, I think overall, I think they did a good job in the draft, and I think that was a great first pick because at least it's another good piece that can go there until we can get Hutch back. But
You've been following these
that's another
NBA
thing
playoffs?
and y'all fragile. Y'all are fragile.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That's another thing.
Andy's gonna take shots at Hutch to this guy. At least he
you
stays
can't-
true and true.
All right,
No,
we can go back and forth about two of the top winningest teams in all of college football all you want, but the Lions start fucking doing good, and you can't start talking about their frat. You can't do that to me, man. We need this team around here. You understand that?
I was rooting for the Lions, man. When they was, I was hoping they went to the Super Bowl, man. And it was so crazy. And I was telling my homies down in Florida, I was like, dog, like y'all don't even understand like how big of a deal this is. Like, Detroit has never been good.
Nuts.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Detroit ain't been good at nothing. You know, so
when
to
it comes
see
to
them
football,
being
when it comes to
a
football.
number one seed, bro, like that is wild. And I was rooting for them, man. I was pissed the way they played in the division or the NFC.
Yeah, they got to the.
Well, because we got the home seed, it was our first playoff game of the season, though. You know, so
hey, just come back. Did the Lions lose a lot of people, or did they? Or
no,
not really. Not
So
really.
the
They've kept most of them. They had a few injuries, but I think that
they lost Aaron Glenn, didn't they?
Yeah.
And why can't I think of his name? But the offensive
McDonald.
No, his name wasn't McDonald, was it? What the hell was
I
his
thought
name?
so.
Offensive coordinator. We lost him.
I know. Yeah, Ben
Johnson.
Yeah, that's it. Ben Johnson.
And those are two big losses, man. So
I know that's what I'm. Yeah, that.
I'm not gonna lie. That made me nervous because as soon as a team starts doing good, it's like fucking vultures, dude. Like they were talking about that like halfway through the system.
Why are they doing good? Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Yep. Like I said, we're gonna see what happens. But like Corey said, did you get to see the Pistons run through the playoffs and who you got for the NBA playoffs, bro?
I did see the Pistons put up their best, man. That was something nice to see too, man. But you know, hey, Jalen Brunson's something nice, man. Jalen Brunson's nasty, you know.
I mean,
I can't argue that.
I'm gonna tell you what, I got the Timberwolves winning, man. I got the Timberwolves.
They've been looking nasty, man.
And
because what they did to the Lakers was something else, man.
Because Ant is unstoppable, man. Ant is something crazy. So
for them to trade off Cat and then to come in here looking the way they are this year, I was totally shocked. I thought they were going to be a totally slop team. Honestly, I thought they weren't going to be anywhere near where they're at right now.
Yeah.
And to see them run through the Lakers the way they did, yeah, I was shocked.
And they doing it with ease too. They're smoking them.
Yeah.
And I seen Ant talking about him. And he said, "Who are we worried about when they just did LeBron and Luka like that?" You know what I mean? Hey, but did you see they trying to get Giannis now?
Jesus.
Oh Lord. I'm sick of these super teams, man. I'm so sick of these super teams, bro. I've been watching the NBA my whole life. I'm so sick of these super teams. I love the teams.
You've been bitching about super teams since the Celtics got KG and everybody.
Bro, I've been bitching my whole life about these fucking these massive ass payroll teams. My favorite teams are like Cleveland right now, kicking ass. Cleveland's kicking ass with they got Mitchell. You know, they got a team around him, but they got Mitchell.
And Mitchell ain't the Mitchell that he used to be either. Mitchell getting old, man. So Mitchell will put up a little something, but then he'll have a game where he got 6 points, and it's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what are we doing? And it's only the games that I bet on him with. It's only the games that maybe I just shouldn't bet on them. Maybe I just shouldn't do that.
So it's your fault, is what
I think. I think it might be my fault, to be honest.
All right, dude. So I know you watched the fights just like we watched the fights. We got in addition to your fight, we got a bunch of big fights coming up. But did you get to check out any of the boxing stuff that happened this past weekend between Canelo and Times Square?
Ryan Garcia get his ass whooped.
Yeah, that one was.
And
You're not wrong.
that made me happy. I do not like him because I can't even tell you why. I just don't like him, dude. Like, and I'm happy. And Floyd and something came out the other day about how like 2 years ago Floyd was like,
it was
if
2019.
If Ryan Garcia beats Rolly, I'll give him 200,000, and when he loses, I don't want to hear him say shit about Tank again. Well, here we go. He
dropped him early, and then to be honest, if you watch the rest of the fight, I mean, Ryan had a couple rounds after he got up, but I mean, for the most part, Rolly pretty much controlled the fight after that too. He didn't drop him again,
Absolutely.
but he controlled
and
the
that
majority of the rest of that fight.
And that just make you think about how good Tank is, man, and how hard Tank hits. Because Tank is something special, man, and all the outside problems that he has, nevertheless, but like Tank is crazy. And like if you know boxing for real and you watch Tank fight, Tank is like Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather combined, and it's like it's something real special to watch, especially live. It's nuts the way he sees punches, the way he slips punches, the way he sets his punches up and his combos up, and his distance management. And
do you think he beat Lamont Roach though?
I think he beat Lamont Roach. I do. But that I might be a little bit biased because I'm a Tank fan, but I think
I'm a Tank guy too, and I was sitting there watching it like, damn, dude, like this fucking guy is coming to fight.
I think he underestimated Lamont a lot. I think
I agree with that 110%.
And he was kind of taken aback by how good he was. That's all. Come on, all like hell yeah, you came out and fought your ass off against one of the best pound for pound in the world. So, but we'll see.
I think they need to run that back though.
I do think they need to run it back, but I'm definitely excited to see Canelo and Bud. I'm
so happy for that fight. Okay, straight up, was that guy? Did you see that the same way as I did? That guy that fought Canelo was not trying to get hit. That dude was trying to do the bare minimum to stay around for 12 rounds. And
it was like the least amount of punches in a 12-round fight ever.
Yeah, literally.
Here's my issue with that. Like, you're getting paid regardless to go fight Canelo. Like, that's a payday, but at the end of the day, you need to think of how much money is coming if you beat Canelo. Like, and if you go out there, you have to go fight him. Like, you have to, like, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit hard. You're going to get hit with some shit you don't see, but who gives a fuck? You need to keep going forward, and you need to swing for the fucking fences when you're fighting somebody of that caliber. Because who knows? Anything can happen in a fight. Look at Inoue just got dropped the other day, and that
fucking fight was fun to watch though.
It was a great fight to watch, but that's a perfect example. If you're gonna go out and you're gonna fight one of the best in the world, then you better go out and fight like you're one of the best in the world as well, or you're gonna look like a fucking fool. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna look like you don't belong there. You're gonna look like what the hell did they just pay you for? What did everybody just pay to watch this fight for? You know what I mean? So that's the issue that I'd be having with some of these fights is you can tell that a lot of these fighters are just like, fuck it, I'm getting paid already, so it doesn't matter.
I'll be honest, that fight at Times Square, I think the only one out of the big three who like really looked good. I mean, yeah, Devin Haney won, but really the only one that really looked good was Teofimo, bro.
Yo, Teofimo my dog, man. I'm gonna tell you what, Teofimo my dog. I done linked with him a couple times, man. Yo, Teofimo is something crazy. The shit that he be doing in that ring is nuts. It's absolutely great.
The shoulder roll stance changes that he was hitting in there was so nasty.
When he jumped up and jabbed Buddy in the face, I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm like, oh my god, you're really like that. Like you're just some shit that you don't see in boxing. He does. He brings that sort of swagger, that sort of that suave fucking demeanor to him that just he's crazy. And I was still surprised that who'd he lose to? He lost to what's his face?
Kambosos.
Yeah, he lost to Kambosos, and I was shocked as hell. But even I was talking to him about that, and even he told me he was like, bro, I wasn't even training for that shit. I wasn't even You know what I'm saying? He was doing too much. And that's go back what I said earlier, man. You got to give yourself a chance to go in there and be great, and and he did the same. He's doing the same thing now, and he's taking everything more seriously. He's training every day again, and he's he's and you can see the benefits that when he goes in when he fights, so
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy.
he really looked like he leveled up. I mean, I don't even want to say that it was necessarily so much of a level up. It's just looked like his consistency was there. If he can be more consistent and bring that version of himself, which, I mean, of course that's expecting a lot, but when you're that level of athlete and have showcased that level of skill now multiple times over, it's almost expected for you to be, bring your best to the ring every time. And if he can do that, man, if he can continue to be that version of himself, man, he's going to be damn near unbeatable in there.
Yeah, he's going to be real hard to beat, man, and he's going to have a lot of belts to show for it pretty soon. So I'm excited to see that, man.
My bad. My thing lagged. I thought the thing cut. But speaking of guys that have been hard to beat, I mean, what are your thoughts on Bo Nickel getting cracked this weekend by Ranier de Ritter, man?
I think I saw that coming. It's it's like, and people just don't get it, bro. Like, it's so many level. Like, Ranier was a double champ and won. Like, he was a multi-weight champ and won. Like that's a big deal. And for him and for Bo to think that he's just gonna go through and stand with somebody like that, because whatever you do, you don't want to take him down, because that's the worst thing to do against him, because he's a multiple degree black belt, and he's like a valid black belt as well. Like, he's nuts on the ground, trains at Kill Cliffs, trains with some of the best in the world. He on a consistent basis, and he's crazy on his feet too. So it's to put a 8-0, 7-0, 8-0 fighter in there against a dude with 20 plus pro fights, and it was a no-brainer to me. I was like when he's fighting all these guys like that are either on their way out or are just coming in as well, like, yeah, your wrestling will prevail because you're one of the best wrestlers in the world, hands down. And I always give Bo credit for that, but bro, like, when you it's so many levels. Yeah, in the cage it's so different. And when you fight somebody like Ranier that sees everything, that has openings based on his experience, man, it was an easy fight to predict for me, so but what surprised me was how quick it went. I thought Bo would be able to survive. At least I thought it was going to be a decision, like a 30-27 type decision. But I don't even know what shot hurt him to the butt, because he was hurt before the knee, and I didn't even see what shot hurt him to the body before then. But obviously it was a shot that snuck in there pretty well, and that knee just pushed him over the edge, Plus, because when you're really hurt like that, and you already can't breathe, and then you're throwing punches and you take a crazy knee to the ribs again, like, bro, anybody in the world is gonna go down for that, So that's something you can't hide. Like, you can get rocked with a punch to the head and try to play it off and like sort of back off and circle and do what it is, try to get your bearings right, but you can't hide when your liver shuts down. You can't hide.
I say this all the time. That was the worst punch I ever took in a fight, dude. And it's the delayed reaction too. It's not just getting hit. Like, the punch itself's not even what hurts the worst. It's you move forward and you're like, oh shit, I think I'm all right. Oh shit, I'm not okay.
And then all of a sudden you can't breathe and you feel like your body's shutting down. It's like,
yes,
oh my God. Like, and you just, I mean, shit. Then that was a nasty knee too. Like, yeah. I know it was hard.
He said it himself with our guy Andreas Hale on MMA Today. He said people think that all I am is a grappler, and when they think that all I am is a striker, they forget I'm a Dutch kickboxer. So he really's got it everywhere it goes. So it's like, pick your poison. And I think he's really been one of the best I've seen in a while that's came from somewhere else and like immediately like shut everybody up. Because if you remember, after the first fight, people were kind of just like, this guy's all right, but is he really going to be any good here? And now he's basically taken out 2 of your young bucks. He's going to have to be ranked after this one. And like you said, just his overall experience just shined through. And I think if Dana wasn't paying attention before, now you can't not be now after what it is. And we'll see, to your point with what you're going to do with your fight with Ryse Brink, which you can check out May 10th, Hype Athletic Center and live on Spectation Sports. What changes is he going to make? Because, he's not training directly at ATT anymore. He's got like his own little spot up by where he's at. Are you going to start getting back in there the dog rounds that are actually at ATT? Like, what changes we could see. But what'd you think about Corey Sandhagen, though? I was happy as shit for him that he got that win.
I want to see Corey win a belt so bad. But real quick, back to Rainer, and I feel so bad for Rainer and everybody in the middleweight division because like none of them have a shot after Khamzat wins the belt. So it's like
you might not be wrong if Khamzat can last longer than 2 rounds.
Yeah. Bro, it's just such a sticky situation, but I don't think he's going to need to last more than 2 rounds because, bro, look at everybody that he's fought, okay? Look at everybody that he's fought. He has taken everybody, including Kamaru, including everybody, down within 30 seconds of the fight.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Everybody gets taken down, bro. He's going to do the same thing to Driscus, and he's probably going to finish Driscus in the first round or 2 because – Driscus doesn't really have jits. Khamzat has very good jits, and he's so strong on top. So strong on top. And when Khamzat gets him down, when he gets anybody down, I don't see anybody in the middleweight division right now that's going to stop the wrath of Khamzat Chimaev. I just don't see it personally. And just from seeing him fight people that I know very well, like do you see what he did to Robert Whittaker's jaw? Like
that part, that one really got me.
Like that's nuts. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even have a choke. It was across his face, and he broke his jaw. Like that, like
the squeeze that it takes to do that to somebody is just like nasty.
Bro, his teeth were in the back of his throat, bro. Like that is wild. Like that's nuts. So like, and who's gonna stop that? Name me one person in the middleweight division that's going to stop Khamzat from taking him down, taking their back, and submitting him.
I don't think he stops the takedown at all, but for some reason I see Dricus just doing the Derek Lewis style. I'm getting up from this fucking takedown thing. You know what I mean? Like he just doesn't accept it. You know what I mean?
The problem with that is I don't think Driscus is stronger than Khamzat because you got to think Khamzat also cuts from like 230. Like he is huge. Like Khamzat's fucking big, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a fine line between being able to get up, and then you got to think of the pedigree of jiu-jitsu. Like,
oh, absolutely.
You're not just gonna be able to do that against Khamzat. Like, and that's the crazy part is the wrestling mixed with the jits. Yeah, it's
expect to do it safely and not get sucked into a submission the
and
second you do go to
right. And that's tough, man. I think Khamzat's one of the best fighters in the world, and I don't see anybody beating him. So that's my
I full-heartedly agree. I just feel like out of the division, I feel like the matchup that's being presented with Dricus, I feel like is I mean, he's a champion for a reason, right? And he's really surprised me with what he's been able to, I guess, evolve in his game so much over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. But I got to get your thoughts. Also going down the same night as your fight, we've got Bilal Muhammad and JDM Jack Della Magdalena. How do you feel? How do you see this fight? How do you think it finishes?
I got Bilal winning by decision, like he always does. I think he's just going to take him down because why the hell would you stand with Jack Della Magdalena? Because Jack will knock Bilal out if he decides to. If his ego gets too much, gets too big and he decides to get away from who he is, he's gonna get slept. You know,
How
and
much do you think he'll actually try to strike?
not at all. I think he'll try to go.
Not at all.
I think
You don't believe him?
If he's smart, he'll take him down immediately. He'll push him up to the cage and he'll take him down immediately.
You don't believe him when he's calling himself Canelo Muhammad?
God,
you don't believe that one?
I do not like Bilal, dude. Like, God, he's the most boring champion ever, dude. Like, the most boring champion ever.
I've seen a lot of the criticisms, and I do agree to in some circumstances. I feel like a lot of it's been over-presented because of the fact that he's never been a UFC like favorite, so he's always been matched up against guys that they want him to lose to.
Yeah.
Tough matchups, tough stylistic. You know, what are you going to do against this guy? This is somebody that nobody can get their hands on and actually beat. And then he just goes in there and he has to find a way to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Other times against like guys like Sean Brady, he is able to get, you know, a knockout finish and stuff like that. But a lot of times it is like, I have to use my full aspect of what I'm able to bring to the game because I'm in there against somebody who, if I let them use their kickboxing Wonder Boy, then they're going to whip my ass. If I let them, you know, he's in there with so many different guys where if he lets their style take over the fight, then like you just said with the JDM fight in particular, another example of it. If he lets JDM go in there and he's like, I'm going to make this one more entertaining, and now all of a sudden rounds start to slip by and JDM's landing a couple hard shots, the fight could be over. So
Yeah,
to me,
and that's what it's all about is just going in there and imposing your will on somebody.
Yeah.
And shit starts to get a little slippery when you get away from your will and you start trying to play their game and fight their fight, you know, and because that's not who you are. That's not who Bilal is. Bilal is not a striker. He's not a striker. He's not, folks. He's not a striker. You know, so it's like, why are you going to try to be something else at the very, very, very top of the game? Why? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I see it happen a lot. Like, why are you getting away from what the fuck got you to this point?
I think it's all just mind games. I think he's trying to see if he can lull JDM into some semblance of a thought that he's got this intention to come out there and try to throw with him. And then when he times it, well, we all know that Bilal's the better grappler.
Yeah.
I think he times it. I think he takes him down. Hopefully beats him up a bit, but I think I think that's how this plays out. I think he's saying that to kind of lull JDM into feeling like, oh shit, now he's got something to prove, wants to stand. When in reality, I think he might test the waters, but as soon as he sees something he don't like,
bro, as soon as he catches one combo, he's gonna die for the legs, bro. Like,
yeah,
he's gonna be like, oh,
if
shit.
one lands clean, absolutely. And as he should. That's what I'm saying, because like you were just saying, when it comes to if we're grading, if this is a UFC game and we're talking just the stats that are on the board, JDM has more stat points in striking. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. So yeah, if you get your bell rung, yeah, you probably should switch the game style up.
Right.
And maybe I'm a little forgiving because I've watched, you know, like his podcasts and stuff. So I like him as like a personality more than just like the fighting style. I understand it. To me, I've seen a ton of the comparisons like in the last couple of weeks, you know, and the breakdowns to like the GSP and stuff like that. I don't think he's there yet, but I think the stylistic, what he brings to the game is very GSP-esque. It's very not great in any specific realm. If you look at him in maybe jiu-jitsu, yeah, he could get subbed by some other black belt in the division, but he works his way out of those positions and doesn't allow those things to happen during the fight. I feel like that's what we're going to see again this week, you know, come with his fight with JDM.
You know, something to your point, and I think Devin would agree with this as well. Like, you know, you could be like a technically proficient striker, right? And then go fight in MMA and not be able to mix everything up real well. You could be a really good jiu-jitsu guy, but then when it comes time to using it in an MMA arena, not, you know, it might not translate as well. You could be a good wrestler I mean, I'm saying in general, you could be good at any one. You know, that's what's so great about MMA in 2025 is you have to be good at them all because you, to your point, you can talk about how Bilal, you know, might be might get beat by, you know, we'll just say Bo Nickel because we're talking about Bo Nickel. Okay, he gets in there and just wrestles with Bo Nickel. Okay, Bo Nickel might be able to out wrestle him, but can he out MMA wrestle Bilal? I don't know. Can he, you know, Bilal can't, maybe not the guy that's going to go in there and win a Golden Gloves tournament, but if he goes in there and boxes against the guy and is able to change levels and fuck with him with wrestling and stuff, could he crack a guy that's Golden Gloves? Probably so. So, I mean, these are all things to be, you know, kept in thought. I think
the Leon Edwards striking. I feel like the striking that we've seen from Bilal over Leon Edwards, who is yet again more proficient of a striker, stuff like that. I feel like he surprises people with his.
I agree. Skill. That's why I'm saying in an MMA setting, I think it amplifies how good he is as far as striking, or as far as wrestling goes, because you're able to use all the other tools, and I think that that's something that can serve him really well. As far as this Saturday at UFC 315. All right, the last thing I got to ask you about before we get out of here, because you're as close to it as Eddie. Dude, I had somebody ask me and told me to make sure I asked you while we were on the show, bro. So do you think that this Rashad and Rampage match is gonna ever happen, bro?
I think it'll happen. I think they just need to find the right promotion to make it happen, a trustworthy promotion.
That was the vibe I got out of the most recent one. I had somebody go, "Oh man, I thought they were going to box." I said, "Yeah, I think it's got to do with the promotions," but I said I would ask.
So I mean, we was out in Albuquerque, like we was there, like we was ready to do it, you know, but you know they didn't do what they said they was going to do, so we had to step back from it, you know. So, but yeah, I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen. Rashad's still training. He's still got that step, still got that fire in him, man. I know he wants it to happen. So, God willing, man, I think it will.
Business is business, and speaking of business, it's time to get back to business for you this Saturday. Any last words for anybody who's on the fence about checking this out, and any last words for your opponent, Ryse Brink?
Oh man, you never know when you're gonna see me next, man. Make sure you come out and check it out. It's gonna be a fun night, great night of fights. You know, shout out everybody coming to support me. I love you guys. Shit, that's all I got tonight, man. For Ryse, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. We'll see you. I'm gonna see you.
I'm gonna see you. Make sure you come out and see it May 10th. And if you are gonna come out and see AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, we are gonna be in the building. Shout out to AEW for having us at the D-Man Foundation. Make sure you stay tuned for our interview with AEW Swerve Strickland. And in the meantime, and in the in-between time, hit that subscribe button. You never know who's gonna be on the other end of this screen next. Peace.